Hi, welcome to The Gray Say There's a Better Way. My name is Zion, and I am the spokesperson for the Gray here on Earth. I won that right through a passage, a rite of passage, much like that of uh, historical figures like Hercules or Jeremiah, the prophet. Um, I became Zion. My proper title is the Zion of the Most High God of Israel. And I gained that title by following the instructions left to me by the prophets of the Old Testament, or Ketuvim, of the Hebrew text. And it wasn't just by fulfilling the prophecy. That was actually the last part of it, because it began with um, interactions with the Gray. I thought that they were God, because I was praying to the God of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now, I was a Christian, but they only responded when I addressed them in the manner of Israel. I have since realized that I am not a Christian, because I do not believe in the Christ part of Christianity. I believe in the Essene Jesus preacher of the Order of the Essene, the true Jesus, who is a part of Zion. But I am elected as the spokesperson for Earth. I was elected not by humanity, but by the Gray themselves, because I was found acceptable to them, and I am a telepath, which means that I have the capability of speaking with my mind and of hearing with my mind. And it is this unique ability that allows me to speak on behalf of the Gray. Now, it was not enough alone that I am telepathic, because the Gray are, in our estimation, a very moral people. They have very strict rules of morality that they tried to instill into the human matrix. But humanity was too immature and warlike in its nature to be able to follow this higher moral code. Now, the basis of this moral code was laid out in the Torah, but it was also set up to advance humanity through a kind of purging technique, where certain laws of our former our age that is ending now was designed to draw out and purge from us. And boy, did it do a number on us. But now we have matured, and having matured, our telepathy can now be safely accessed. So the Gray began working with me when I was a teenager through the mechanisms set forth in the Bible that I was familiar with from my days in church. So they worked within the framework of Christian lore and biblical beliefs. It wasn't until I advanced through an understanding of religion that I realized that there was more to the gray, to God, than it led me to the conclusion that God was gray. That these entities that I had been dealing with in my lifetime, in progressively more and more intimate terms, were in fact aliens and not the mythical God that I had been raised to believe in. And this was a scary thing coming from a Christian point of view. But through biblical passages left purposely there for this reason, I was shown that my Christian upbringing was not right. That although there are many good aspects to Christianity, which is why Jesus has a place with the great, but that there are aspects of Christianity which must be put aside because they come from an altered perspective, a not sure foundation, let's say. So I had to be taught in steps the truth of first my religion, then through seeing UFOs and through science fiction, I was introduced slowly to the concept of the aliens. And when I was able to accept the reality of aliens, was the realization of who I had been dealing with all along was shown to me in terms that I saw it so that I could feel comfortable with what was happening. And they have worked very hard to gain my trust. But at the same time, I had to be willing to go through hell to understand the difference between human morality and their morality. So I was given a training course in the School of Hard Knocks. Through life experience, I was taught moral lessons that I am now capable of passing on to others because I've lived them and I understand the difference. And so that you understand that I really am coming from the original stance of religion. One of my many, many prayers was for the wisdom of Solomon. And this is actually what started this School of Hard Knocks that I subjected myself to. But it was, even though it was hard to live through, in time I recognized the reality that this was a training course that I was taking. And through biblical study, I found the proper means by which to bring the gray to earth. And that is how I became the Zion of the Most High God of Israel. Because I took it upon myself to go through the process of becoming like them through life experiences. And at the same time, I sought out the preset conditions of first contact through biblical passages, which gave me a set of instructions to enact a certain set of circumstances that would set the stage for their arrival in a way that would be the least terrifying to the human race. First contact can be a very, very scary thing. And the Grey have gone to great pains to teach me to be their mouthpiece and to help me to know how they do things enough that I can um, show others the way. Because in the coming years, there will be others like me who will be trained in moral law through human religious text. The priests of Zion, just as I was required to, will have to study all religious texts on the planet to understand the true scope of human nature and of gray nature, our connection, and where we're going to move into the future. So, I am their voice. And in order for you to have verification of that fact, the prophecy was written. The prophecy of Israel, of the Old Testament, of which the prophet Isaiah is chief. And it is his 54th chapter in the book of Isaiah that tells you the exact circumstances of my birth, of my childhood, of my adulthood, of my aspirations for the future, and God's promise to me in that future. So, chapter 54 of the book of Isaiah is my story, so that you will know that I speak on behalf of the Grey. They chose me and groomed me, and they did so because I fit the bill from the first moment. Because there is, at the very beginning of the 54th chapter of Isaiah, it says, "Sing, O barren, thou that dost not bear." And it was an event of my childhood, my very early childhood, that made me barren. So at a very, very early age, I was chosen to fill this role. Not because I'm grandiose in any way, shape, or form, but because I had tragically been put in a place where I could do this, because I was made barren. And because of my faith in God, I allowed myself to go through insanity to find my way to sane, or to find my way through sanity into a different kind of sanity. Because my kind of sanity is not, I mean, to this society, I am bonkers, crazy, put me in a Looney Tune type crazy. But to those people who hear voices in their head, I'm a godsend. Because I'm hopefully one of my many things that I stand up for is the telepath. If you hear voices, you too have the capacity to be a priest of the Most High God of Israel. And just because I'm the first does not mean that I am the only. And I have been chosen and groomed from my earliest youth to be the voice of the Grey, who are the gods of the earth, so that we can come together and meet face to face. So may the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. And may they teach you right from wrong. May you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it. Make that your guild choice when we get to camp. If you use drugs, stay happy and high. You have every right and reason to. Believe me, I know I wrote 2 books about it. If you're a telepath, welcome to the priesthood if you so choose. My name is Zion. Love you way too much to say goodbye, so I'm going to say later now.